Flash flooding is one of the greatest severe weather risks we face here in Houston. Here's the thing, we often see very heavy rain. And Houston's drainage system, it's designed like most other big cities to handle rainfall rates of about 2 inches per hour. Now, because we live right next to the Gulf, storms that form have a readily available source of deep tropical moisture just sitting here. And quite often it surges in. You can feel it on those really warm, humid days we get. And what will happen with this tropical flow is that the atmosphere will become saturated from top to bottom. Think of it, a 50,000-foot column of completely saturated air. It's like having a towel, 50,000 feet high, just soaked full of water. And when these storms develop, like even an afternoon thunderstorm, and it gets convective and taps into all that, it just is like wringing out that wet towel. And we can get rainfall rates that exceed 5 to 10 inches per hour. When this happens, it quickly overwhelms our primary drainage systems and leads to flash flooding. Our topography is flat. Houston is located on the coastal plain, which means it has little elevation change. Think of it as a large, flat beach. This means that when we get heavy rain, the water drains very slowly through our system of creeks and rivers and bayous, Halls Bayou, Greens Bayou, Sims Bayou, Buffalo Bayou, all trying to work heavy rainwater through the system and into Galveston Bay and eventually down to the Gulf of Mexico. But again, because our topography is so flat, it takes a long time to drain, and the water can literally just kind of pile up in places, and this causes our bayous to rise out of their banks, and that floods roads and structures. Then there's the concrete. Cities like Houston are built on concrete. Roads, parking lots, driveways just simply don't absorb the incoming rainfall like a field of grass and soil does. Concrete increases the amount of runoff into the bayous and increases the speed at which the water enters the bayou system. Both lead to an increase in flash flooding in Houston.
When the rain comes down that fast with nowhere for it to go, neighborhoods can flood in a matter of hours. That's exactly what happened 8 years ago when the Greenspoint area was left underwater and people were in desperate need of help.
As dawn broke Monday morning, daylight revealed much of Houston was a scene of disaster, and it seemed no neighborhood had suffered worse than Greenspoint.
There. All right, we got you. Come on.
Here we discovered a couple of guys in boats rescuing people stranded in the second stories of apartment complexes.
Come on. Okay, there you go. Get your purse. All right, here you go. Here.
So few people here to help, we knew we had to pitch in.
Where's my baby? You all right?
So what happened? I mean, did the water just come up? Were you trapped on the first floor or what?
No, we were actually on the second floor, but it's getting so hot that it's almost to the second floor.
And that's the way it was for hours. Nothing but volunteers in boats and on a nearby bridge.
Let me try to help these guys out here. Here we go. We got it. We got it. Okay, there you go. You all right? Whew, they get you out of there.
A long day, a long night.
Hey, we're on Channel 11 here. I want to ask you, what'd you see? What happened?
Oh man, the water just came up so fast.
But as the hours passed and we broadcast more live television pictures like this,
Oh my God, look at the little baby.
something started happening. A small armada of private boat owners literally came to the rescue.
You can ride, so anybody who wants to ride with you can ride? All right, okay, hang on.
School buses arrived to carry flood victims to shelters, and elected leaders were paying attention.
This city is not going to treat any neighborhood differently from another because of one's socioeconomic status.
By the next day, the water had receded, and people in Greenspoint began the hardest part of all, cleaning up and starting over.
What all did you lose?
Everything. Furniture, stuff, my husband works stuff. The trucks, we lost all 3 of the cars.
What are you going to do now?
Stay strong.
After all, we've been through this before, but it never gets easier.
That goes to show that steady and intense rain can turn Houston streets into rivers, and it's a reminder of how quickly things can change.
So what do you do to lower your risk? The thing you must do is buy flood insurance on your home or business. Even if you're above the 100-year floodplain, if you live in Houston, you are at risk for flooding every year. I strongly recommend that you research the elevation of your property before you purchase. Finding locations that are just a little bit higher can reduce your flood threat significantly. FEMA flood maps are a great resource and available at khou.com.